Hello, all you beautiful people out there. What is going on? This is your friend Britik coming at you fast with another Call of Duty Advanced Warfare video. And today we are going to be continuing our talk about my game battle slash MLG slash competitive career, the entirety of it. This is part 2. If you missed part 1, make sure you go check that out. That is the video right before this one. I'll leave a link down in the description below. But where did we leave off last time? Last time we left off at the end of Black Ops 2. I'll remind you guys what I mentioned, and we'll go on to Ghosts and Advanced Warfare in this video. So what you're going to be seeing right now while I talk is actually a search and destroy, a round of search and destroy, or rather a match of search and destroy in a tournament that Contrude and I and Buffon and Code were in. Code was filling in for Future because Future didn't feel like playing that day, so we just had a substitute, which is perfectly fine. That happens occasionally, so yeah, the reason I chose this one is because I don't do that well. I think I go 12 and 7, which is all right, I guess, for a competitive match. But the reason I chose this video is because it was actually a comeback, and you'll see that here pretty shortly. But let's get into the topic of the video. So, where did I leave off of? Black Ops 2, right? The year I started doing my YouTube was the year Black Ops 2 came out. All throughout Black Ops 2, I made videos about league play, game battles, stuff like that. Even though I didn't play too much game battles, I played a lot of league play, a lot of league play. Ended up getting about 1.8k subscribers by the end of that year, which I was really happy about. But I didn't do too many tournaments. I wasn't on too many teams. And I just didn't have a successful year. This was still on PS3, by the way, guys. All of this that happened, all the Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, all of it was PlayStation 3. That was my console because all of my friends had PlayStation 3s, so I got a PlayStation 3 as well, instead of an Xbox 360, like most people would assume. But no, I had a PS3. Now, Black Ops 2 was suckish. Contrude went on, had different teams, different teammates. He was really successful, and then everybody else I knew either stopped playing or they just were on a different team. So I was kind of stuck in a no man's land sort of deal. So in that case, I switched over to Xbox One with the new consoles coming out, Xbox One, PS4. PS4 looked dominant in my opinion, and initially I was going to get PS4, but at the same time, I wanted to try the competitive scene out on Xbox and see how it worked. So during Ghosts, I was actually on Xbox One the majority of the time. I got an Xbox One, I think, 2 weeks after Ghosts came out, I'm pretty sure. And so the first 2 weeks, I did PS3 Ghosts, did some dubs game battles with some old friends, and then ended up switching over to Xbox. Now that's a big story right there, my Xbox experience with Ghosts. I was on a lot of teams. I went hardcore grind ham sandwich when it came to game battles and tournaments and stuff like that when it came to Xbox. As soon as I switched over to Xbox One, I was already at it. I was playing Money 8s, I was playing scrims, I was trying to find teams for game battles, I was meeting a bunch of competitive people, trying to get my name known, and stuff like that. I was probably on about, I want to say, anywhere between 8 to 10 teams. I've met a lot of people, and I jumped around a lot, trying to find that perfect chemistry, but eventually, as you'll hear later, that didn't end up working. So I started out playing a bunch of 8s, and at the beginning, since the Xbox One just came out, there weren't too many people on it. There was probably only about, I want to say, 10 to 20,000 people on Ghosts at a time. On weekends, maybe it was 30,000. So there weren't that many people. So when you met somebody competitive and you played 8s, you would befriend them and you would play 8s with them about every day. You would play with the same people. So you get to know these people pretty well. So with most of these people, I decided to try and team with. I forget the majority of their names. I remember Rascals. I remember, was it Zach? It was Zach. Zach and his brother. Forget his name. But it was on Devil Gaming or something like that. I can't even remember. Probably because the experiences weren't that important. But I've been on a lot of different teams. The thing that I pulled away from it is it's really hard to walk away from something that you've been watering for a long time because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And that's what I wanted to experiment with when I switched over to Xbox. Because on PlayStation, I knew all these people. I still talked to Contrude. I still talked to Rusher. I still talked to Nick, which, by the way, Nick actually was on Xbox, and we played some doubles, he and I. And then I was a bit more hardcore when it came to the competitive stuff, and I kept looking for teams and teams while he played public match most of the time. I don't know. I mean, he probably did competitive too. Sorry to bash on you, Nick, but whenever I came online, you were always doing pubs, and you always invited me to pubs, whereas I always wanted to play 8s and do scrims with people. But, you know, whatever. Still in good regards with Nick and all that. So no big deal. I was bouncing around on Xbox a lot, bouncing around. I did S&D tourneys, Twitter tourneys, Twitter S&D tourneys. Sorry about that. That's my cat trying to fuck up this recording. Come on, kitty. What are you doing? What are you doing? But anyway, S&D tourneys, variant tourneys, game battles, MLG variant. UMG came out around this time. I'm pretty sure UMG gaming. So we went on that and played things on that. People were doing money 8s, people were doing wagers. I wasn't really into wagers yet because I didn't have that group of people that I felt comfortable wagering my money with. I mean, sure, they were good people, but we just didn't have that chemistry down, and that was the biggest thing, is that the chemistry. I lacked chemistry with just about anybody that I met on Xbox. I don't know why. I tried really hard to be good with people. I tried really hard to, you know, successfully coordinate and cooperate with people, and usually I'm pretty good at doing it, but some people were just really annoying. For example, there was this guy that I do remember. His name was Thiz. Either Thiz or Twiz, I forget. I'm pretty sure it's Thiz. And he's probably one of the worst people that you can ever meet to have as a teammate. And I actually had to team with him twice. I didn't have to, but I actually ended up teaming with him twice. And this is a fun experience, and this should be a lesson to a lot of people who are actually in competitive. This guy was the person you don't want to be like. So, how old was he? 13? I think he was 13, either 13 or 14. I was 17 at the time, so I've matured already. He still hasn't. And I was looking on Twitter, you know, for teams, because that's the easiest way to do it. Just tweet at, you know, MLG retweets, Call of Duty retweets, stuff like that. Be like, hey, I'm a free agent. I'm looking for a team that can do this, 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 and this. I live on West Coast. I can go to LANs, blah, 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 blah. And I was doing that, and I found this guy through Twitter, so I was like, okay, whatever. He invited me to a lobby. We played some 8s and some scrims with some people that also wanted to be on the team. And right off the bat, first game, I knew what kind of personality this guy had. Okay, he's the kind of person that bitches about everybody's flaws besides his own. He is the person who, when he dies, blames other people for letting him die. For example, oh, you weren't watching that cutoff, you let me die. Oh, you didn't tell me where he spawned, you let me die. Shit like that, just the most annoying shit. Like, can you please just admit once that your gun skill is awful and that you just choked the gunfight instead of trying to blame it on others because you're just that bad. And it was just annoying. It was just so annoying because this guy just irritated me every single time he talked. And he had that one of those annoying voices too. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, come on. I can't even imitate it. It's that bad. I just can't. I hated him with a passion. Day later, I just left. I was like, fuck this, dude. You obviously don't know what you're doing. You're an asshole. You're an arrogant teammate, and that's why nobody wants to team with you. Everybody's leaving. And he was one of those people that had an ego. Again, very cocky, son of a bitch. Thought he was really good. Everybody had an ego. Oh, it was just so bad. So I ended up leaving that, and after I left that team, which is probably about my 6th or 7th team, I was just so discouraged. I was like, okay, man, that guy really bummed me out. There's probably going to be nobody else that is actually going to take me as a teammate. Nobody else that's I'm going to be successful with. And I actually did manage to get myself on a team called something Devil Gaming, I think. Red Devil Gaming. That's what it was. Red Devil Gaming. That was the name of the team. A pretty decent team. Ended up going like 20-1 or something like that. And then I think one of the members got an offer to join a better team, and then the other 2 members and we just could never find a 4th person. We could just never just get that groove with a 4th person going, and it just went nowhere. So I left that team on as good of a terms as possible that I could have. And I actually, another story from that team specifically, Red Devil Gaming, one of the team members, I think his name was Zach, one of the team members, his name was Zach. He was kind of like the brains of the operation. He liked to refer to himself as Rambo. From Envy, when it came to, like, that's the way his playstyle was. His gun skill wasn't the best, but he always talked strategy, and he always tried to be the shot caller of the team, and that made sense. But back then, I was also trying to be a shot caller on a team, and you just can't have two of those. You can't have two leaders on the same team. You need to have one person doing the strats, one person telling what to do to people. If you have two conflicting ideas, two members that have different ideas of how to go about things, it's not going to work. And that's basically what happened. I didn't agree with a lot of stuff that he talked about, so I just left. I try to leave on as good terms as possible. Pretty sure we're still on good terms. If I came back, just to play with them, they wouldn't cuss me out or anything, but not on Xbox right now, and that's coming up shortly. So that's about it. After that, I just stayed playing 8s and basically just 8s. Near the end of it, I met a few people that actually went to my high school. One of their names was Boxolate. If you got the other person, I'm sorry. Boxolate was the one that reached out to me more through Twitter and stuff like that. And we actually went to the same high school. And I didn't even know that he went to the same high school as I until after I graduated. This happened after he messaged me on Twitter saying that one of our mutual friends told him about me and my YouTube channel, and that he tried to reach out to me, but I never replied, and he thought I egoed him, and this whole thing ended up being a funny story. Anyway, we ended up playing 3s, and we did pretty well. We had a good thing going on Game Battles 3s, but it wasn't anything serious. It was just for fun. We had a pretty good record, though, probably like 18-0 or something like that. I don't remember. We tried playing some wagers, but at the time I didn't have a PayPal account with money on it. Or my PayPal account didn't have money on it, and I didn't want to put my credit card in there and stuff like that. So we ended up not playing Wagers and Ghosts, and that's actually the last memory I have of competitive Ghosts. That was about 2 to 3 weeks before Advanced Warfare came out. Now, Advanced Warfare comes around, and initially, my brother pre-ordered it for Xbox, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I want. I want it for Xbox, because, I still play on Xbox, still want to try it out on Xbox. But it turns out that Construed was in a situation where he also, all of the people that he knew went to Xbox and stuff like that, and he was one of the few people that were left on PlayStation, and he reached out to me, and he said, come on, man, I miss you, I really want to play with you, he tried so many times, like months and months and months, tried talking me into selling my Xbox and switching over to PlayStation, and I kept telling him, I'm like, it's gonna happen, don't worry, I'm gonna end up buying a PlayStation 2, I wanted both an Xbox and PlayStation at some point anyway, and I ended up getting a PlayStation, and I ended up getting Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for the PlayStation on top of the Xbox. When I still have the Xbox copy, I don't play it very much, but I do play the PlayStation copy with Construed, and Construed was still friends with Buffon at the time. If you don't know who I'm talking about, look back at last video. Still friends with Buffon back at those days, and so we teamed up together, us three. Future was also there because he was Buffon's friend, and we just made a team together. We started playing GBs, and that's where we got here now. Basically, nothing much has changed. A few roster changes, but it's still back to me, Buffon, Construed, and Future. There might be some changes in the future. Who knows? That shit always happens with Call of Duty. But yeah, there you guys have it. Game's over. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any more questions, leave it down in the comment section below. And as always, make sure you have a wonderful day.